Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 1001 Business Problems Solved with Microsoft Teams podcast. I'm Annie Rind, your faithful hostess, and once again, we're starting off a new week with a little Microsoft goodness. If you've listened very long, you know the deal around here. We like to get into the subject, give you something useful to start your week with, and then let you get on with your Monday morning. Sometimes that takes 6 minutes, sometimes it takes closer to 10, but either way, you do not have to give us your entire morning before the coffee even kicks in. Before we get started, I hope you had a great Independence Day holiday. This was a special one. 250 years. Wow! Now I know our country has problems. Every country does, because every country is full of people, and people are very good at creating problems. But I still believe this is the greatest country on earth, and I hope you had a few minutes this weekend to think about what the founding of this country has meant, not only for us, but for the world. The freedom to build, invent, argue, improve, start over, and try again has produced an awful lot of good. Now, let's get on to the topic. I know I promised we would get back to our series on the other Microsoft apps, and we will. But this one was too good to wait, because it may change the way you use Copilot the very next time you sit down with a messy idea, a half-built plan, or a business problem that has been wearing you out. This started when Arnie was listening to a recent Joe Rogan episode with an AI expert. It was episode number 2521, and I'd tell you his name, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. Now if you go listen to it yourself, just know that the first chunk wanders through ancient civilizations, Egyptian pyramids, and a few other rabbit trails, because, well, it is Joe Rogan. Some people love that. Some people are already reaching for the fast-forward button. The part that really mattered for this episode was when they got into AI. One idea from that conversation stuck. In the age of AI, maybe education should not reward the people who can memorize the most and hold the most information in their heads so much. When nearly everyone has access to answers in their pocket, the more valuable skill may be knowing how to ask better questions. And yes, I know what somebody is thinking. But what if they do not have AI available? What then? Well, we heard that same argument with calculators back in the 70s. There is a fair point in there somewhere, because nobody should become helpless without the tool. But I would also argue that if you use AI seriously, and you keep asking thoughtful questions, you are going to learn. You are not just copying answers. You are pulling on ideas, comparing options, and making connections. The guest made the point that curiosity is one of the signs of real intelligence, and I think that is exactly right. Curious people keep learning. They keep exploring. They keep wondering why things work the way they do. In an AI world, that kind of curiosity may matter more than ever. That is what got us thinking about our own work. As you know, we have been working on several free and paid offerings to help clients and podcast listeners use technology, especially Microsoft technology, to reduce friction and make their businesses easier to run. And honestly, that work has been going well. A lot of it is getting close to finished. But after that podcast, Arnie stepped back and asked himself, have we really been asking Copilot the best questions? And the answer was no, not really. We had a path marked out on the whiteboard. We had talked through it with Copilot again and again. And Copilot was helping us make that path better. That was the problem, though. We had already chosen the path. Most of our questions were basically saying, help us make this plan stronger. Then came the little eureka moment. Instead of asking Copilot to improve the plan we had already chosen, Arnie stopped and asked a better question. What am I missing, and what non-obvious alternative should I consider? That is the sentence I want you to write down. Before you ask Copilot to make your idea better, pause long enough to ask, what am I missing, and what non-obvious alternative should I consider? Here is the everyday version. Most of us use Copilot like a helpful employee. We hand it the thing we already decided to do and say, clean this up. Make this better. Help me explain it. And that is useful. I do it all the time. But every once in a while, you need Copilot to be less like the person helping you paint the room and more like the person who walks in, looks around, and says, are you sure this is the room you should be working on? Think about a small business owner getting ready to fix a broken process. Maybe invoices are late. Maybe customer requests are getting lost. Maybe the same question keeps getting answered 5 different times by 5 different people. The natural move is to ask Copilot, help me write a better email, or help me make a checklist, or help me explain this new process to the team. Those are good questions, but they may only improve the thing you already had in mind. The better move is to stop for 10 seconds and ask, what am I missing and what non-obvious alternative should I consider? The problem may not be the email at all. It may be that nobody knows where requests are supposed to live, or that the checklist will help for a week and then disappear. The real issue may be that the work never had a trusted home in the first place. The second half of that question matters. If you only ask, what am I missing? Copilot may point out a risk or a gap, and that is helpful. But when you add, what non-obvious alternative should I consider? You are inviting it to step outside the path you already chose. You are not just asking for a better version of your first idea. You are asking whether there might be a smarter, simpler, or more connected path sitting off to the side. Let me say it a different way. If you are out in the garage building a shelf and you grab the wrong board, Copilot can help you sharpen the saw, measure twice, and make a beautiful cut. But at the end of the day, you still cut the wrong board. That is the danger here. Copilot can help you make a bad plan sound better, organize a process that should not exist, or polish a strategy that needs to be questioned before it needs to be improved. So before you ask it to sharpen the saw, ask whether you grabbed the right board. And the way to do that is simple. When you bring Copilot a strategy, a workflow, a sales idea, a training plan, or even a stubborn little office mess, do not only ask it to improve your first idea. Give it the background, tell it what you are trying to accomplish, and ask the question, what am I missing and what non-obvious alternative should I consider? Then sit with the answer for a minute, especially if it points to something you did not expect. Because sometimes Copilot's best help is not making your plan prettier. Sometimes its best help is showing you a better plan you were too close to see. So ask it one more time, what am I missing and what non-obvious alternative should I consider? With that said, I hope you have a great week. We'll get back to our Microsoft Apps series next time. Until then, keep learning, keep asking better questions, and do not be afraid to challenge your own assumptions. This is Annie signing off.